Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. It is I, the Lemon Shark, who'll be hosting today, joined by my co-hosts, Hammerhead Shark and Mako Shark.
Hi,
Hey.
hi.
So, before we get into the meat of the subject, we're going to talk about the meme of the week, or the meme of the last 3 weeks or so. But
It's been just a little bit of time.
yeah, so the meme that we all decided to collectively enjoy this week, I guess, or relate to, I guess, to say is so there's this video. It's a little TikTok / Instagram reel where this guy's watching an anime, like a cute little romance anime, and he's like crying. Like they finally kissed. And it switches over to like God, and he's like, I bet you wish that was you, huh?" And starts laughing at him, and he starts crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I guess-
anime is called Toradora, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know that.
I got an ad for that on my Kindle this morning.
Really?
All right.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty popular romance anime. It's been out for quite a while, since 2008.
Oh,
But
wow.
it's actually getting a little more traction. It has an 8.2 on my anime list.
Oh, wow. So it's neat.
Do you just know
Nah.
that out? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I just Googled it, but
Okay.
I I have watched Toradora before, and I did enjoy it, except okay, never mind. I was pretty mad at how it kind of ended. I shipped two characters more than what and how the story did it, but that's not the topic. So whatever. If you two decide to watch it and you want to talk about it, we can.
Yeah.
I'll
Put a
see. Is
pin
it
in that
on?
one.
Is it on any of the legal sites?
Yeah, I think it's on Crunchyroll right now.
Oh,
How many illegal sites is it on?
all of them.
Probably. Yeah, Crunchyroll and I think Netflix actually.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
Yeah.
Toradora, you said?
Yeah, Toradora.
Mm. Cool. Anyways, so yeah, I think we all kind of related really hard to that one, so I think that's why we all chose it for this week.
I just
Yeah,
love
it's
the
a good
laugh.
meme. Check it out.
I just love the laugh that he does when he's playing God. He's like, ha!
Yeah.
That's so true. Well, anyway, so today I guess I'll go first with my topic of the week. So lately I started reading this book series called The Expanse, and The Expanse is really renowned for like how close it is with like real life science and like how the space travel and all that stuff. It's like very like the most realistic sci-fi space opera out there, I guess, right now. And it got me thinking like, does realism like how much does realism affect fiction? It's like how much does it matter to you guys if like a show's realistic or not, and like how does it affect your enjoyment?
For me, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh. I feel like that almost kind of turns into a Star Trek versus Star Wars debate. It's like, I feel like that's a good way to frame it, because Star Trek, I remember a big fan of Star Trek that I met, he told me that they would consult with scientists as they were developing the show and ask them, is this the kind of technology we might have in 80 years? And they're like, yeah, we think that this could be stuff we might eventually develop one day. So, and they would frame, the kind of the stories and technology around that and how they presented it. So then on the other hand, you have Star Wars, which is like planet destroying space stations and space wizards with laser swords and, ships that have ridiculous designs, like the medical frigates. They just look cool, and we love them because they look cool, but they actually wouldn't work in real life.
Yeah. So, Lemon, you're saying realism versus fantasy, right?
Or I guess like just realistic, like yeah, just like realistic stuff. Like realism.
I think it really depends what kind of genre I'm looking for. Like, Mako just finished talking about space, but for me, when it comes to space, just if it's fun, it doesn't really matter to me.
Mhm.
Just because it's the future, so who knows? A lot of things could change,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's just kind of a story. Um, but I would say more if it's kind of like more medieval fantasy, where a lot of the things that they're doing were stuff that was happening actually in history. Um, the way that they make armor and weapons, or just the way of life. I would want that to be accurate. But if they add magic, um, I would want that kind of mesh that they're making sure it would still kind of make sense if that was. Um, but they're not making the things that actually happened dumb
yeah.
or unrealistic.
Kind of like how if I'm watching Lord of the Rings, I expect them to have like an accurate depiction of how a blacksmith makes a sword. But if I'm watching Harry Potter, then it's just do whatever you want. It's Harry Potter. There's magic everywhere. Who cares?
Yeah, because I mean, Lord of the Rings might be interesting because, like, when not Elvis, sorry, the
Elvis,
elves,
Elvis the Fabulous.
when the elves make weapons and armor that, they add magical properties to it and everything, and so the process might be a little different, the refining, but they're still hitting it with a hammer. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is not totally drastically different, and so I guess it depends on the setting. If it's modern world, it'd be kind of similar. Um, if they decide to make cars close to how cars are right now, I would still want to see the tires spinning, even if the car supposedly is powered by something different. Does that make sense?
Mm.
hmm
I guess it's all about what was the term? Suspending disbelief or something like that.
suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, that word. Yeah, I guess it all depends on another thing I just thought of. Like, I guess it doesn't necessarily mean or matter if it's realistic to our world, as long as like it sets up its rules in the fantasy or science fiction world and like follows those rules. That's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like setting and genre play a big part in it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was my little thoughts I had over the last couple of weeks.
Well, I
Well,
had
yeah, go on.
oh, I was just thinking like since we're just talking about that, how setting influences it. When I think of like stuff like Through the Looking Glass or The Adventures of Alice in Wonderland, I don't expect it to be realistic at all because it's an absurdist genre. It's meant to be weird and off the cuff and wacky.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of anything goes. But then if I'm watching Band of Brothers, I expect them to make it realistic to how things were back during the World War II.
Yeah.
Right.
But I was gonna ask you, Lemon, um, in the Expanse, are they kind of going off the hook, I guess, or kind of sticking to that world's laws or something, or what kind of
Yes.
got you interested?
Wait, what was that?
Well, what kind of got you interested in this topic?
Well, I just kept seeing like these videos of people like are fanboying over the Expanse, being like, "This is so realistic, I love it," and like people are like, "Oh, this is such a great show because it's so realistic." And I was thinking like, just because it's realistic, does it make it that great? And I think it's kind of cool because they use the realism to like add to the story. Like they use like for example, like when ships travel at high speeds, there's like a lot of acceleration and like a lot of dangers, just like accelerating really fast speeds. So like
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
use that as a drama device. And yeah, they also like mention how the bodies like there's this particular group of people in the expanse. They're called belters. They're the people that have what's the word, colonized like the asteroid belts, and they don't live in high gravity. Like the most gravity they're exposed to is like half, like 1 g or like half a g, I guess.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And like their bodies have changed to the point where like they're like totally different. They can't survive on a planet anymore. And everybody's like, whoa, like I never thought of it that way before. I remember it just kind of blew my mind. But like, it doesn't necessarily make the other old science fiction stuff bad, though. It's still good, even though like they ignore a few things. That's like the. But one thing that did annoy me from like another older show, Stargate.
Oh,
Yeah.
One thing that annoyed me is like I never really thought about it until someone pointed it out. Like they travel to all these alien planets across the galaxy, but yeah, everyone somehow speaks English perfectly.
oh yeah.
I never
Yeah.
thought of it. I was like, wait a second, you're right. Like it kind of makes me like not like the show as much, but I was also thinking like, it's just a fun show. Like, like it doesn't matter if it's realistic or not.
Yeah. I mean, they easily could have bypassed that and just said, we made technology that kind of scrambles it all and then translates it. But
Yeah, they do that for Star Trek, but they don't do that for Stargate though. They just kind of like they don't even mention it. They're like, "Oh, I speak English, cool, let's go."
yeah, they probably didn't even think about it.
I never knew
again,
the British.
Yeah, the British really really reached out there, didn't they?
The British Empire knows no boundaries.
Laughs in British.
Hey,
Then
those are
again,
my
it's like
ancestors.
it's a small budget film, and like there's like a smaller budget film on sci-fi, and they're doing with the best they got. So
Yeah.
can't really get too mad. Like when I was younger, I used to get kind of annoyed with the alien designs from like Star Trek. I'm like, if you got an alien from an alien planet, the only thing that's different about them is their pointy ears. Like, but I was like, well, they're also having to deal with like a lot of makeup and like stuff like that. They don't want to make like a really intricate design for each alien species. So I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of have to take into account those things too.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, they're like a really good example of how the Guardians of the Galaxy. Quite a few of them did have like masks or makeup on, but if you see sometimes like behind the scenes, it's just like a person with like a bunch of um, goodness, I don't want to call them other than balls, but it's just like focal points that they focus on, and then they can kind of edit that area and be on a green screen and make them actually look like an alien, and they don't have to take the time to do all the makeup every scene. They just
Oh,
kind of
interesting.
get that saved and everything, and then it's a lot easier now. At least that's why I'm just pulling on my butt right now. I don't know exactly the process, but that would make more sense.
Right. So yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
important not to take everything too seriously too. I think it's good to take everything for what it is. Because like you see, I've been watching a lot of these lore videos of Star Trek, and they're like, why does this happen? Why does that happen? Like why do these species look so similar? And back in my head is like, just probably because the makeup designer had limited makeup supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's
people
like
are like
all the
all these conspiracy theories. There's one cool conspiracy theory though. Like there's a conspiracy theory that like all the alien races in Star Trek are related through like a common ancestor, like some alien species spread out like all the aliens. So that's why they can all look similar and breed together.
Oh, that's interesting.
And like that actually makes kind of cool sense because that's one thing that bothered me too. It's like how is all these alien species like having like these hybrids together? Like what makes these genes compatible? But gotta take it
Yeah.
for what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, could be taking play. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
True.
The cubes.
But I feel like that's delving too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The deep lore.
But yeah, that was my thoughts for the week. Anyone else have anything else to add to that?
No,
Awesome.
that was good.
All right, Mako Shark, what do you got for us this week?
Mine's a lot less in depth, I guess. I was just thinking because little offhand topic, I found out there's a Street Fighter cookbook, which I bought and it's fantastic. But I got to thinking about how I used to play Street Fighter 2 when I was a kid on our Sega Genesis. It's like one of my favorite franchises, and I started thinking about like all the games I've played, and I finally thought like which of them has had the biggest impact on me? Because that might seem like a silly question to some people. The truth is sometimes you really connect with a certain show, a certain movie, a certain character or game, and it kind of influences your outlook on life. Like a few months ago, I was reading a post from some guy where he was saying he was struggling with depression, probably from all this COVID stuff. But there was a character from a game that he would play, and she would always say these really uplifting, encouraging things. So he said that kind of helped him get through it. So, what do you guys think? What are the biggest influence? Like, what games have had the biggest influence on you?
Good question.
Well, and it can even be other stuff. Like if you just spend a lot of your childhood playing Super Smash Brothers with your friends, and that brought a lot of great memories, and those kind of influenced you. It can just be something like that.
Yeah. That's actually what I was thinking because, um, I mean, emotionally wise, I don't think I've been affected like that. Um, of course, I went through the Halos when they were coming out one by one, and so I kind of saw that journey, the great journey. Okay, the journey that the main character was going through. Sorry.
No, you're good.
um, and so that part was kind of
You
interesting.
kind of Master Chief.
Sorry.
Was it? Did you kind of connect with Master Chief then, just seeing him journey through all that?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't able to put myself in his shoes because obviously I can't do what he can. Um, Also a
If you
little
do,
side tangent, huh?
sure you can. We just need to get you a bunch of drugs, a really big suit.
Oh yeah, I know, right? I will say though, um, I kind of feel bad, and I hope no one takes offense on this, but it's like I don't care that much for when people say that they are able to put themselves in the shoes of the characters. I know you kind of do, Mako.
Yeah.
But for me, I always end up seeing the story uh, passing a as a story, and so I'm watching what's happening to the character, not necessarily that I'm the character.
Like you feel more like you're observing it than experiencing it.
Yeah. Unless it's VR chat, then that's kind of different. But anyways, the the game that I would say ha- that had the most effect on me is RuneScape. Kind of weird. Um, Not because the story's amazing. Um, the quests are okay, but I've put 15 years in this game, not straight, of course, but over the time, and I've had many relationships of people I've met. Um, Quite a few gag ones, especially in the first years. Um, but it's like I've been in this one clan in the game for since they put them out, like 2013 at least. Oh, actually, I
Yeah.
think it was earlier than that. And they're like in the Netherlands. People are in different states and everything, and just kind of that connection of just talking to them all the time, um, doing stuff with them. Definitely an escape for reality, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
you know, there's points I would just enjoy just being in it, listening to the music, not really doing anything. Those type of things. But um, I mean, there's plenty of other games I've enjoyed that had similar things, but usually they're like series, the Zelda series or even Metroid series.
Mhm.
Um, just because of the time I put into them, I just enjoy the characters and everything. But I, it- I guess I don't know how to put it, but I just they haven't like fixed me emotionally or anything.
Yeah.
I would say, but they definitely had a part of it.
Yeah. Like they played an influence, but they're not like a huge part of your life.
Yeah, yeah. Like with the one person you're saying kind of helped him get through his depression. Yeah, maybe it did, and I didn't realize it, but I can't tell you right now that it did. I wouldn't recognize that.
Yeah.
I guess the two games that affected me the most emotionally. I don't know, like in a lot of games have brought different emotions in me. I guess the ones that made me most invested into the story is The Force Unleashed, Star Wars, and also
Oh yeah.
Mass Effect. I think Mass Effect is the first game I ever really almost cried at because
Oh,
like they just wrote the characters so well, and like you actually have there's limited. There's all debate about like the choices mattering in Mass Effect, but you're making a lot of choices that kind of make it feel like it's your shepherd and like it's your story that you're kind of molding to kind of create more investment, I guess, and whatnot. And The Force Unleashed, that was just the first game I ever played that I actually got invested into the characters and like actually cared about what happened to them. And I remember I got really angry because when I first played through it, I accidentally picked the bad ending for Force Unleashed.
oh yeah, I did too.
And I was like so upset. I was like, this makes no sense. Like no canon, like with like the original canon of Star Wars. I'm like, this makes no sense. Like how could I like But then I played it again and I got the good ending and it made me so happy. But still kind of bittersweet though too.
Yeah,
But
at least until the second one.
right. Another game I really got invested in was Splinter Cell Conviction. Like I don't know why,
Splinter
but
Cell?
Oh,
or Splinter Cell, yeah. Like I don't know why, but I got really invested in like Sam Fisher's story. Like even though I played no Splinter Cell game before that, like I didn't know the characters, I didn't know like the storyline. I just got dropped into it, and I found out this guy like lost his daughter or something like that, but like found out his daughter's still alive, and all this like background drama. I remember I got really invested in it for some reason.
Mhm.
But yeah, also another game too. Sorry, I'm listing off so many games, but another game I got really into was Faction Guerrilla.
Oh, I've heard of
Like
that
you're
one.
playing. I remember you're playing it like you're playing on Mars, and like you're trying to do a revolution against Earth because Earth is kind of being oppressive against the Martians. And I remember I got kind of invested in the struggle of the Martians. Like there's certain missions you can pick out. Like there's one mission where to raise morale, you can go off and like rescue a bunch of prisoners from like the Earth Force. And I remember one time, like I almost had them out. Like they're all jumping in the back of my car, and like the last one got sniped out, and just got sniped right before she jumped into the car and she fell down. I remember I felt so sad. Like no.
Oh no.
But yeah, just little fun gaming moments like that. So another one. Sorry, I'm just mentioning so many games, but another one that really got me. I'm not sure if it's along with your question, but it got me emotionally invested is XCOM because you can create
Oh
your own
yeah.
characters and like you can kind of mold them and like you can give them certain abilities and like also another thing that's really cool is that or not cool but adds more stakes to the game is that once you like lose a character, they're gone forever. Like there's no respawning.
Yeah,
The game will
my
just keep going.
my brother-in-law played that game. He said he made all of us, and like I lasted the longest, which surprised him.
That's too funny.
I was like,
But yeah,
dang.
Oh
there's
yeah,
lots of games. Go
yeah.
ahead.
He named you after family members, didn't he?
Yeah,
In his characters.
exactly.
Maybe next
All
time
right.
I play a campaign, I'll name you guys after him.
Oh yeah, you should.
I'll let you know who survives the longest.
All right. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we should take bets.
Let's see who
Who
lasts the
survives.
longest.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, there's been lots of games
For
that I'm sorry, there's been lots of games that I've gotten emotionally attached to, but I'm not sure if they had like a profound impact on me per se, or like that
Yeah.
changed my worldview, or like made me like the one you described. But yeah, I guess it's like all things, like they all have a little bit of impact, but that you don't really know until you think about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right.
uh,
Mako.
for me, trying to think, there's a lot of ones. Because to be honest, I played a lot of games with my family members and my friends over the years. Like I have a lot of great memories from Monster Hunter, Street Fighter, and of course Pokemon. Pokemon was the first game I ever played, so there's that. But I want to say the two that may have impacted me the most would be Kingdom Hearts and Overwatch.
Okay.
So, because Kingdom Hearts, like we bought a PlayStation 2 just to play that game because, we're all Disney fans. And we're like, oh, look, we can run around with Peter Pan and Ariel and Donald and Goofy.
Yeah.
So, but even though, as a kid, we really got into the story because even though it is kind of corny, it actually does, it's actually not bad as far as stories go. Like, it's corny but endearing, and it does actually have moments that are really touching and well written, I think. Of course, then it gets into the time travel stuff and it all dissolves into gobbledygook. But no, I just remember I was the first Kingdom Hearts. I remember that night I was pacing back and forth because I was so overwhelmed with my achievement. And I was like, oh my gosh, I beat it. I can do anything. That kind of thing. I mean, I was like 9 at the time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a game, it was a game we all enjoyed together because we were all Disney fans. My older sisters played it. I remember at one point we got stuck because there's a wall you're supposed to shoot with fire and we couldn't figure it out. And then my older sister shot a fireball at it and it opened. We were like, how'd you figure that out? And she said, well, this is what Carl always does, and just started attacking everything. Like, fine. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's one I was the most emotionally attached to. I feel like that's kind of mellowed out over the years. Like, I haven't even finished the third one because I didn't like the ending. I still need to finish it, really.
Yeah, you
It's
do.
still a pretty good game.
I was watching you play it the whole time. You were in my Let's Play, and then you just stopped playing.
Oh, well, if you'd said that, I would finish it.
I wasn't going to force you. Of course, it's your game, and wanted you to enjoy it.
I think you could probably watch the last 2 hours of it. I think that's all I had left in it.
Yeah, it's not the same, though.
Yeah.
It was the Let's Player that I could actually talk to.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll just all need to get back together physically, and then we can do it.
Yeah.
So, and then Overwatch, I'm going to say because it was the first online multiplayer game I actually ever played. Because, like I mentioned before, I've had anxiety issues in the past, and I was always like, I don't know how I'm going to handle it if some stupid 12-year-old starts telling me he screwed my mom and, stuff like that. So I was scared of being the one that lets the team down. Everyone's like, oh, you're a loser. You should quit the game, stuff like that. But then I played it and I was like, actually, this is a lot of fun. And it's fun enough. I don't care what anybody says to me. And most people on here are actually pretty cool, pretty nice.
So I have to say, you, at least from other people's experiences, you have really lucked out on nice people.
In Overwatch?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how. You're like, oh yeah, I've never had that much of people, people that are bad players and say GG and all that when they're being idiots and all that. It was like, how'd you not get all the people that are saying I don't even want to say it, but it's just
just radiates
trash. Yeah.
He just radiates good vibes, and he just invites people with good vibes, I guess.
Yeah.
Just spread the vibes. I don't know. It might just be the Midwestern United States server is really chill or something. But yeah, for the most part, most people are pretty nice. I remember there's a game mode called Yeti Hunter every Christmas, where it's a team of 6 against one super powered Winston.
Oh yeah.
So I would keep getting Winston, the Yeti, and I was just absolutely destroying the enemy team. And they were all nice about it. They're like, man, you're really good at this. Is Winston your main? And I was like, no, I just kind of switched to whoever I think we need. And they're like, oh, you're a jack of all trades kind of guy. They're just really positive and nice about it. So, and yeah, even when you get people that are mean about it, it's just kind of well, you're just an idiot. This is just a game.
Yeah.
I remember last time.
I guess I just experienced too much of Xbox Live and just trashy people.
Oh, Xbox Live chat.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, the last time someone we lost, and someone on the team started saying, "Y'all don't know how to play. Y'all are dog shiz," and stuff like that. All I did was just say, "Oh, don't be such a baby. It's just a game." And he never responded, and that was the end of it. It's not really that bad. So yeah, and like I remember later I got into the newer Battlefronts and I was just like dying over and over again. And I was getting frustrated. And I thought, you know what? I should play this like Overwatch. I actually try and think and be tactical. And then I ended up rushing up to second best player in the match.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like I think Overwatch has had one of the bigger influences on me because it expanded, like it showed me that there's a whole new genre of games I can play and enjoy. And on top of that, it just kind of reminded me, even with my anxiety issues, that like people aren't out to get you. Most people are fine. They just want to live their lives.
Yeah. I think just going off a little bit, I think the issue is when it gets a little too competitive. People are trying to be ranked and get good, I guess you could say. Then they kind of get salty. But yeah, like you said, most of the time it's just a game.
Yeah, and I guess with Overwatch, it helps that competitive mode is a whole separate mode. Like, and then they have the normal one and the goofy arcade ones where the roles are different.
Yeah.
So now they have a game creator, so people will make like Genji Tennis or Doomfist or Doomfist Bowling or Hide and Go Seek and stuff like that.
Wasn't there a badminton mode for a little bit?
Yeah, I think that was based off the Genji Tennis.
Yeah.
Just like two Mercies make a stream for the net, and then the two Genjis use Reflect. And Junkrat serves a bomb, and they just deflect that at each other over and over again.
Yeah, that's when it's fun with community. You're kind of just messing around. All right, cool.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your thoughts. We'll go on to our next topic. So, Hammerhead Shark, what do you got for us?
Okay, so we'll try to keep this as least controversial as possible. But it was from a meme, and then I looked into it, and it's actually real. And it's Star Wars. It's official. They came out with a new bounty hunter, and they're very charismatic. I guess you can say their style and the way how they look. And the title here, let me just read it. Is Star Wars new bounty hunter may be better than Boba Fett, which I know is very clickbaitable, but I don't think they're gonna get the response that they want. Boba Fett and the Fetts in general, since they've showed up, have been just some of the all-time favorite characters of the Star Wars movies and series now. And I think them coming out and just kind of be like, yeah, Boba Fett's trash, is putting off a lot of people. And it's already kind of died down. No one really cares. It was, I think people argued about it for about 3 days, and now I'm not seeing anything about this new character. There's articles about it. You can look it up. The character's name is Deva Lompop. It says it's Star Wars Galaxy's oldest bounty hunters. Which, have you ever heard of them, Mako?
No, yeah, I'm actually reading the article right now.
Mako's our Star Wars expert.
Yeah. They're saying that they introduced her species as part of the High Republic books.
Okay. So that's where they're getting from old. It's just an older species.
Yeah, and that's why I'm reading that apparently the Hutts think that they were some of the first bounty hunters. And it sounds like Screen Rant's just being kind of clickbaity. Like, there's nothing that says, oh, yeah, she's here to replace Boba Fett. It's just like, she's one of the oldest bounty hunters. So Jabba calls her in to fix something that Boba messed up.
Yeah, and I don't sure. I can agree with her race as being one of the oldest, and yeah, sure, their race probably was bounty hunters, but like, I don't know, they're kind of just pulling out of their butt, in my opinion. There needs to be a little build up of introduction in my before they just bring out this character. Especially not spinning in the face of one of the most favorite characters of the franchise.
Yeah, because it's always been Boba Fett's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. Before that it was Cad Bane, and I think Boba Fett kills him or something like that. So then they suddenly introduce this new character and say, "Oh yeah, she's a centuries-old bounty hunter, so she's more experienced and better than Boba Fett." And on the one hand, no, Disney hasn't actually said that. That's Screen Rant assuming it.
Yeah,
But it does sound like Disney could make that case if they wanted to, and I hope they don't, because it's like I just like Boba Fett.
yeah. A lot of people like Boba Fett. They like his character. They like his style. He was the first introduction to the
Yeah.
Mandalorian for mostly everyone.
Oh yeah.
And, where was his character before?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the way they designed her or them, I just don't see it fit in the older movies, the original trilogy.
Yeah, I think I kind of get what you mean. Like, it seems really flashy, kind of like nonsensical, right?
Yeah,
Not
nonsensical. Out of touch, I guess. Okay. I mean, I would see it fitting more in the prequels, but definitely not in the sequels.
Yeah.
And, but
oh.
I don't know. Lemon, what do you think about it?
I haven't researched it, but from what I've heard, it sounds kind of like a lazy type of character introduction. I mean, it's really easy. It feels like very childish. Like you create a character, like, oh, this character's better than all the other characters, but then you need to find a way to rather than just say that, try to actually show it. You know what I mean? Like make them
Yeah.
earn their place. Rather than being like, it's easy just to like pull out a character out of your butt and be like, oh yeah, he's stronger than Superman or stronger than One Punch Man. Like he's one half Punch Man or something like that. It's easy just to pull a character out of your butt and be like, oh, he's stronger and better. But like you need to find a way to make it actually better. Like if that's your goal, don't try to say that. Just try to make it happen. And also pay respects to like the old character you're trying to like stand up to.
Yeah, and like I guess also to be fair, it may not be even that Disney's trying to say, "Oh, she's better than Boba Fett." Like she's a better character. It's probably more like she might be more skilled because of all of her experience, but they're making the book of Boba, so I mean they got to understand how popular Boba Fett is at least.
Yeah.
Maybe she's gonna
Uh,
be a boss. Maybe she's gonna be a boss for Boba Fett. The main
yeah.
boss.
Yeah. Is
I
it?
could. It'd be kind of cool the way they introduce it. Is just she's existed or they have existed this whole time, but they just kind of stayed out of it, or she was or they were a bounty hunter in the further outreaches of the galaxy.
Yeah, it's
Then
saying.
then what's that? All the empire and everything, they just kind of did their own thing. Maybe they live for long times. They could easily put it in, but they just gotta make sure they do it right.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Like, I guess she's 200 years old, and she was a bounty hunter, but then she kind of retired, moved on to other work, and now she's back because Jabba probably offered to pay her a stupid amount of money.
Yeah.
Isn't Jabba dead?
Oh no, this is before he dies.
Oh, is this like a
In
in
betweequel
between,
or whatever. Yeah.
an in between type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be around the time Han Solo's frozen in carbonite.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, yeah, if they introduce her and they do it right and they're not obnoxious about it, just saying like, "Oh, it's a new character. They're so cool. You better love her," kind of thing, then yeah, I guess I could give it a fair shot.
Yeah. 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 Just make sure you do it right. You're not you're actually making a character that you care about, not just someone that's trying to fit an agenda or check off some lists. Um,
Yeah.
With a good amount of stuff, they haven't been doing that. So they're just putting out stuff to satisfy the fans, which everyone's been appreciating and enjoying and buying up.
Oh yeah, the Mandalorian finale was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it could really backlash, I guess, on these people. Just
Yeah,
depending who you talk to.
that actually kind of reminds me of one of the reasons I thought Dragon Ball Z was the stupidest show growing up was because they would always come up with some new character who, for one reason or another is stronger than the previous villain. Like, they just have a higher power level. And eventually I was like, it just kind of felt dumb.
Yeah, and it's just always like, well, where were they? Or
Yeah. Or
they
like
usually
there's
just kind of cared.
yeah, it feels like there's always some new excuse like Frieza's so strong because that's just the way he is, and then Cell is so strong because he's absorbed the energy and powers of thousands of people and the two androids, and then it's like Majin Buu's whatever he is, and then suddenly Golden Frieza, it's Frieza after he started seriously training. It starts to feel kind of dumb. Now, I like Dragon Ball Z a lot more now, mainly because of Abridged, but it still feels kind of like just, cheap writing.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, as weird an example as it is, one of the things I like about Kung Fu Panda was that they tried to make each villain different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
first Tai Lung was an amazing martial artist, and then they had Lord Shen show up, and instead of being, a more amazing martial artist that's been hiding in the wilderness this entire time, he's just more of a psychological enemy for Po. So, and they even show him getting his butt kicked by the, kung fu masters in the beginning until he brings out the cannon.
Yeah.
So, and then whatever the water buffalo guy's name was in the third one, Kai. Yeah, Kai. His thing was like he learned how to steal chi, so it was like this new power that he had learned.
Yeah, someone that probably wasn't a threat was seeing everything and then was able to become one.
Exactly.
I guess one kind of good example is One Piece. Well, not really. Okay, it's very okay. It's not that good example, but it has parts that are good example. But they introduced these characters way before, and then they're kind of just shadows, and we didn't know much about them, but we just know that they're really strong. And they kind of made them the goal, and so you're more focused on the super strong characters, and then you don't know there's a bunch of characters that are in the way that they have to take care of, which are also
Yeah.
strong, but we're not focused on them because we're focused on the super strong ones, and that in that aspect, I think they did okay. But anyways, Lemon, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Nope, I think I've added already what I thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this new character is enjoyable. They have fun personality people will enjoy. Good work for the artists who are designing them. It worked for Disney. Even if people don't like it, um, I don't care for it. But good for you guys.
Yeah. Now that we're talking about it,
Yeah,
she kind of looks more like she kind of looks more like she should be in Guardians of the Galaxy than anything else.
Yeah,
I know.
and I'm hoping that they don't mix those because Star Wars definitely has its quirky characters and people, but I wouldn't say that they've always been colorful.
Yeah. That was actually one of the appeals of it was back in the day, every sci-fi, fantasy, whatever, was like sparkling chrome and clean futures and utopias, and Star Wars was unique because it was like, oh yeah, here's a astromech droid that can do millions of calculations, but it's old and dirty and beaten up, just like a calculator nowadays that your dad had.
Yeah, it's definitely changing. The prequels and everything, and the sequels and the series. And so character can definitely fit. I don't think they'd fit in the original trilogy, but I would say they fit more in the current stuff in the 70s.
Yeah.
But won't be too nitpicky with the design. It's more of just how they're. You're not better than Boba Fett. No one's better than Boba Fett.
No one's better.
Except Luke and Jedi, apparently.
Yeah.
Mhm. Cool beans. Is that anyone else got anything else to add?
No,
No, I think that's it.
yeah.
Nice. Sugoi.
I guess for any listeners, we just all been busy. Things just haven't worked out. So sorry we took a while. We'll try to do the weekly. If just things just don't work out because of work and stuff, we might just do this every other week. But um, we'll just see what the future holds. We'll try for weekly if that's okay with you guys still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But all right.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. See you all next time.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sleep well.